that should be closed. Stuck. We're going again. Another unscripted discussion. Today we're going to move extra quick. I said I was going to move fast last time. I did not. I failed to do that, but this time I'm focused. A lot of people ask, what's Egypt like? Nope, no one asks that. When you think Egypt, you're going to think religion. You're going to think Islam. You should. If you don't, you might be a little dumb. But that's okay, because when you're dumb, you can become smart. So if you didn't know, Egypt has a strong association with the religion of Islam. And when I visited Egypt, I got to experience that. One day, I decided to book my own tour with a couple other friends to go visit some of the city of Cairo's most famous mosques. And I wanted to take you with me because what I saw was pretty fascinating. So join me as we explore some of the oldest mosques and coolest mosques in the city of Cairo. Now, Cairo is a very big city. I think 20 million people. I've heard it can be anywhere from 9 million to 20 million people. So take that for what it's worth. In the heart of the city rest two mosques that we visited, the Mosque of Sultan Hassan and the Mosque of Rifai. Don't know why they have the metal detectors. Now, the Mosque of Sultan Hassan is old, very old, built in the 14th century, so 1300s. But what's so cool about the Mosque of Hassan is that the entrance to the mosque is very gradual, long hallways with a lot of turns and a lot of corners, and you wonder why is that? They built hallways that way so that sound could not travel through. It was meant to deaden the sound, so by the time you enter the actual mosque, it's silent. And that's so cool because you have to remember, you're in the middle of Cairo, 20 million people. Cairo is a very loud city. A very loud city. Annoyingly loud. Also, I've noticed that cars like cops and ambulances, use their emergency sirens when they want to clear traffic. Not when there's like an actual emergency. Like this guy, he just wants to get through, so he turns on his siren. And in this mosque, you're in an oasis. It is silent and tranquil, and that was really cool. After the Mosque of Sultan Hassan, we visited the Mosque of Rifai, little bit younger mosque, built in the 1900s. But there's still a lot of history there. Kings are buried there. Queens are buried there. What was particularly interesting about the Mosque of Rifai is that the Shah of Iran, Reza, is buried there. So that tomb was for the last Shah of Iran. And the reason he's buried here is because after the Islamic Revolution in Iran, they would not let him be buried there. And Egypt said, okay, we'll take him. So they put him here. How petty is it to not let someone be buried, though? Like, that's, never understood that. It's like when someone's dead, unless they represent something very violent, I could understand that. But otherwise, it's like they're dead. Just let them be buried. Visiting these mosques was very fascinating to me because it's not very often that I get to interact with a culture or society where religion and life is deeply intertwined. And in Egypt, that is the case. Religion is deeply embedded in both society and culture there, even in the legal system. And as a North American, it's not very often that I get to experience a culture like that, where those two things are deeply intertwined. And personally, this is pure Alex opinion, okay? So this is not fact. I believe that religion comes with a lot of baggage. You take any religion, chances are you can find a story where some bad stuff happened because of it or in the name of it. So I think there's a knee-jerk reaction to look at countries so deeply founded on religion with a bit of skepticism. And there's a knee-jerk reaction to look at those countries with a bit of, disdain almost, and to be condescending and like, oh, those ways of life are so archaic and old-fashioned and outdated. And to some extent, that's true. There is a lot of baggage. Religion comes with a lot of baggage. But I also cannot deny that there is a lot of beauty and good in religion as well. The mosques we visited were beautiful, and they echoed this larger theme of tranquility and self-awareness. And when you think about religion, we think about Islam, there's a lot of beautiful tenets to Islam. Good comes from religion. And visiting these mosques forced me to kind of have this internal conversation. Like, it's interesting to be in a country where religion's so predominant, right? Like, the society and the culture is deeply integrated with religion, whereas in the United States, it's not as obvious. But then I got to thinking, and it's like, it kind of is in a way. Like, because whether, I'm not particularly religious, but my sense of right and wrong stems from religion too. Like the Ten Commandments, my sense of morality comes from that. So in the end, ultimately, religion is kind of just as much a part of my culture as it is here. I think it's just not as visible. Like, you don't hear it. Like, here you hear the call to prayer just in the streets, and you see mosques everywhere, and the clothes that people wear has religious affiliation. In the United States, you don't have it to that extent. But the general principle is the same. Whether you're like agnostic or atheist or devout, orthodox, like your sense of morality, your sense of right or wrong comes from some religious text, because those were just the first examples. It's not that everyone was religious, it's just like that's how you got your morality. Like, no one really wrote about it. Yeah, kind of rambling. But there's a lot of religion today. And when I think back to my life, I cannot deny the role that religion has played in it. My fundamental understanding of morality stems back from the Bible, whether or not I, care to admit that. Like, people will be like, oh, I know right from wrong. Chances are you learned right from wrong from religion, a religion of some kind. Oh, my mom's calling me. Hello? Hi.
Am I getting you at a bad time?
No, it's okay. What's up?
How are my plants doing?
Everything's good. Plants are good.
They're not dead yet?
Not dead yet.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for calling, and
Okay.
see you soon.
Yeah. See you in a week.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Where was I? Okay. Talking about where I learned morality from. We all should be quite frank about where we got our morality from. Chances are, most likely, it came from religion. And I think it gets to a really fascinating conversation about nature versus nurture, right? What are you born with? Are you born with any sense of anything? Or do you learn everything from your environment? Religion on its own is fine. It's people that tend to ruin religion. It's bad apples who use religion to do bad things, or use religion as an excuse to do bad things. It's typically people that ruin things. You have to keep an open mind and take everything with a grain of salt. There was a moment where we stepped outside of the mosque and there was a call to prayer. And we're in the middle of Cairo, busy Cairo, cars honking, and you can hear the echoes of each of the imams reading their call to prayer. And that reverberates throughout the entire city. And that's a really profound thing to experience. It's crazy to think that societies are, church and state walk hand in hand, are conjoined at the waist. There is no separating them. And who am I to judge? But I wanted to share this with you. So that was my day visiting the mosques. And apologies if that got a little cerebral, but I wanted to share it because I think it's fascinating. I exist in a place where the stigma of religion, there is a stigma. And I would say the vast majority of Americans are not particularly religious. and probably look at countries that are with a little bit of this, like, we want to... And I don't know if that's entirely fair. I think some of the criticisms are extremely fair. But like I said earlier, yes, religion has a ton of baggage, but it has a ton of beauty too, and a lot of good comes from it. And I got to witness that. So I hope you enjoyed the quick tour of the Sultan Hassan Mosque and the Mosque of Al Rifai. Also, I got to pet a cat. That was pretty cool. A mosque cat. You don't see that in churches in the United States. They don't have church pets. You don't have a church dog or a church cat walking around. Okay, stay tuned because we got crazy adventures coming your way, most likely from Egypt, because, you know, that's kind of where I've been for a while. That's where all this stuff happened. All right. Thanks for stopping by. Adios. So, Ahmed, are you on Instagram?
Yep.
Okay.
On the Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hit you up.
Yeah, you going to follow me back, man, if I follow you?
Yeah, yeah.